I'm Oral Hershiser, and I am on Blue Review. Hey, this is Sean Green. You're watching the Blue Review.
Bum, bum, bum. Hey, welcome. Lots of lasers. The Dodgers did some winning over the weekend. Welcome, everybody, on this Tuesday to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant. That is Greg Bergman. First of all, how was the weekend for you? It was good for the Dodgers. How was it for you?
It was great for the Dodgers. It was very restful for me. Yesterday was the first day off I've had, and I can't tell you when. So I was like, yeah, that was great. That was wonderful. I went on a hike,
Ooh,
chilled.
look at you.
Yeah, really
Look
nice.
at you. As the kids would say, you went to touch grass.
That's exactly. I got actual vitamin D on my body.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. Yeah.
How about you?
Good weekend. Very chill. Kind of got to do some stuff with the fam, kind of clean up around the house, be productive. A good weekend overall. And yesterday, pretty good day. Not much to do, but watch the Dodgers. Watch the Dodgers get a win. Their third win in a row. They beat the Rockies by a score of 5-3. That is coming off a really good series win over the weekend against the Milwaukee Brewers. So we'll get into that and plenty more. But first, want to let you know the Blue Review is powered by LAX. The LAX Skylink train is currently in testing, preparing to provide a direct, fast, and free connection to the new rental car center, the airport terminals, and the LA Metro. For more information, you can go to lawa.org/ESPN. All right. Dodgers last night win 5-3 against the Rockies, although I think we should go back. We should start with what happened over the weekend in Milwaukee, where after looking just sort of sluggish on Friday night, Greg, they come back with wins on Saturday and Sunday. And again, just sort of workmanlike. I mean, Saturday was kind of a rout, but this was a team that after struggling for a couple of weeks, they seem to have figured something out offensively recently.
Yeah, the offense has. Remember, we talked about it a bunch. What is it going to be? Because against the Angels, remember they looked pretty good, and you're like, oh, well, it's the Angels. Can we really trust that? And then we wanted to see if it would have stayed up against the Padres, and it pretty much did stay up against the Padres. But like, okay, it was not just an Angels thing. They did this against the Padres, but now you're going up against one of the better teams in all of baseball, and the Brewers, a team that's a scrappy team that loves to get on base, doesn't strike out a bunch. They do score some runs, but not a ton. But they are very good pitching staff, very good bullpen, and they not give up much. And they scored runs again. So what this is showing me is that we talk about this a lot too, Marcus. Every year there's a stretch of time where they do something like 32-8 or something like that, or 40-8. Would it go in this crazy, like a month and a half, 2 months worth of baseball where they lose less than 10 games? And right now they're it seems like they're in that stretch. They're 12-2. I think, is that right? 12-2.
12-2 since the losing streak. Yeah.
Since their losing streak, they're 12-2. So that means that we're on that pace of a team. And this is against two good teams too. So it just goes to show you that the offense and all the thoughts of their demise and how terrible they are, maybe just a little bit overstated.
Yeah, I do want to get into the schedule a little bit later because there's a real opportunity for this team if they continue to play well, but we'll get into that in a second. On Friday, it was a tough day for Justin Wroblewski. I should say it's a tough start for Justin Wroblewski, right? Had a really bad first inning, gave up a run in the second, but sort of locked in the rest of the way. And I guess we could sort of lump Roki Sasaki in here too, because he had the same thing where he had a bad first inning, really locked in the rest of the way. What do you make of these two guys who, I don't know, back into the rotation guys who kind of got knocked around, but I thought really did a good job to right themselves, all things considered?
I mean, that was the whole story of that Friday night with Wroblewski and Saturday night with Roki Sasaki. It was a story of resilience, right? You had Wroblewski still, I think I went 5. What did he go, 5 or 6?
He went 5, I believe. Yeah,
I think they both went 5, but they both had bad first innings and just completely righted themselves and got through the rest of the deep into the game where that could have gone very, very, very poorly. Against Wrobleski, it looked like if they would have just gotten a couple hits, it would have knocked him out, and that would have been the end of it. And then now you're looking at going into a weekend series with the Brewers where you really have to rely on your bullpen. And for him to get through 5, it was incredibly impressive. Not a great outing, and this is what happens when you pitch to contact like Wrobleski does, that you're going to get smacked around every once in a while. But I love the fact that Dave trusts him to go out there and get through a little bit of adversity. And then on Roki, too. Roki didn't look great in that first inning. He looked like Roki from the past. And really, it was Gary Sanchez going to third for an out that got him out of the inning, when if he would have just stayed at second, he was already at 35 pitches. I think it was somewhere around there. And he would have just got a couple more hits, and that was done. Like he was not getting out of that inning, and he ran himself out at third base. And those are the types of things that if you do that against the Dodgers, you're screwed. They're going to come back and they're going to get you.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that first inning for Roki, 35 pitches in the first inning. He threw 52 the rest of the game, innings 2 through 5. So really locked in, got a lot more efficient. Kind of went back to attacking the strike zone a little bit more and just started getting outs. And even down 3-0 in the first inning, after the first inning, the Dodgers came back, scored 11 in the ball game, and kind of ran away with that one when it was all said and done. Then on Sunday, 5 whole runs for Yoshinobu Yamamoto in this economy. In this economy, what are we doing? No, it was great. Yama has been a little bit shaky in his last couple of starts, but I don't care. Even Yama not on his game, because he didn't get a lot of strikeouts, if I recall, on Sunday. 2. Yeah, but even when he's not on his game, 3. Greg, if you give him 5 runs, you gotta like your chances to win.
Yeah, so Yama, we've talked about it a ton, is that he's somebody in the first inning, just like a lot of these guys. If you get him, you can get him in the first inning, and then he's usually shut down the rest of the way. Weirdly enough, he got hit in the second inning, and they gave up his first run this season in the second inning. But he's like, if you give Yama space and runs, you should be totally fine. The guy has just been is going to eventually get on a tear. He also owns the Brewers in basically every sense. So that was a bad matchup for the Brewers, and the fact that we had him on Sunday, it really helped out to win that series. And then it was a good pitching all around, was just really impressive outside the first 2 innings on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, the Brewers in the entire series didn't score after the second inning. On Friday, they got all 5 of their runs against Wrobleski in the first 2 innings. Saturday, they got all 3 of their runs against Roki in the first inning. You mentioned they get Yama for the 1 run in the second. They didn't score after the second inning in any of the 3 games in that series over the weekend, which kudos to the bullpen for that. Do you want to just talk about they gave up a run last night?
It did.
It was inevitable that it was going to happen.
Only Kyle Hurt's second run given up this season.
Yeah. So what was it, 36? Is that what it ended at?
38.
38, okay. 38 scoreless innings for the bullpen. It was inevitable. They gave up a run. That was the only one they allowed. Everything was good. Which gets us to last night's ball game. The Dodgers win 5-3 against the Rockies. I was a little bit worried going into last night that there'd be just kind of a letdown. They had the big series in Milwaukee. They traveled to get back home. You got the Phillies coming to town after this series. I kind of worried they were going to have a letdown, and at least for the first 4-5 innings, it sort of looked that way. It was the curse of the pitcher with a 6 ERA. Death taxes and the Dodgers struggling against dudes with inflated ERAs. I don't really understand it. I can't figure it out. But in the long term, we thank goodness for the Rockies bullpen, because more than anything else, that's usually going to fix you. And that's kind of what happened last night.
Yeah, no, that's usually eventually they're going to. When you're playing a team like the Rockies that are just so bad and their bullpen's so bad, that eventually you're going to go find a way to get them. Once you have this guy just shoving against you, but he threw a lot of pitches. He threw a lot of pitches early on too. So, I mean, they were getting guys on base. I think that was the story for me overall, is that they getting guys on base consistently. They may not drive them in every single time, but they were constantly they're threatening over and over and over again, and eventually one of those guys are going to come through and bring guys home. And they did it yesterday. They got it's the crooked number innings, right? So the crooked number innings is when they take advantage whatever you got the other team was not doing. So it was just good to see them do these things constantly on base, whether it's through walks, whether it's through the hit. They may not always score, but they will get like 10 to 15 guys on base. And then when you're doing that, you're going to eventually bring guys home.
Yeah, they had the 8 hits last night, throw in another 3 walks, so that's 11 base runners right there. They figured out eventually how to drive some of these guys in. Although it started with Kike Hernandez coming back, which welcome back.
Welcome back, Kike.
In his first at bat, was it the first pitch of his first at bat? Even I don't think it was first pitch, but first at bat, just drills a double inside the third base bag that drives in Hye-Sung Kim. In fact, Kike with 2 hits in the ball game, 2 for 2 at an infield single. So it's good to see him back. But that also meant saying farewell to Santiago Espinal. We thank you for all the work that you did here during your time, and look forward to hopefully seeing you get a ring next year whenever the Dodgers run into you at some point somewhere along the way. But it's good to have Kike back. It adds to roster flexibility. I guess it also means that the clock is kind of ticking on Hye-Sung Kim because Tommy Edman's on his way back, right?
Yeah, so when Edman comes back, I think they're trying to get him into a rehab assignment either this week, by the end of this week, I believe. And if that's the case, his days are kind of numbered. I don't know where else you could even go at that point. I mean, unless somebody goes on the IL, maybe it's Muncy, because we haven't seen Muncy for 3 straight games with that getting hit in the wrist. Why is it always Muncy, by the way?
Always Muncy.
Why is it always Muncy getting hit in something that's breaking a wrist or breaking a hand or doing something that's going to, when he's playing so well, he's always the guy that gets hit and it destroys his season every time.
Yeah, I guess the good news is he was playing catch on the field yesterday, so hopefully it's not that serious and does not require an IL stint. I know that when it happened, they said he was going to take a couple of days off, so fingers crossed that he's back in the lineup soon. Maybe tonight. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully. They were saying that he was supposed to be in the lineup yesterday, but they just held him off. So good. If that's the case, give him the much time he's needed. He doesn't have to go on the IL and make sure he's okay. If he has to go on it, fine. But, I hate that it's always Muncy.
It's always Max Muncy. I don't understand it. I think we do talk about one negative, though, from the last few days, and that is Mookie Betts. Like, I think we kind of have to have a conversation about Mookie Betts continuing to struggle at the plate, and just pop-up Mookie has returned. It seems like at the worst time. Now, one of those, it actually worked out because he was able to drive in a run, but just hitting the ball in the air, not hitting it very hard necessarily. Defensively, he continues to be stellar, but the offense right now is noteworthy just because he's not producing at the plate.
No. Do you think it's this being in that second spot for this year? Is it the curse of the 2 spot?
It might be. I was wondering, do you move him out of the 2 spot? Do you put Kyle Tucker back in the 2 spot because he's hitting now? Whoever's been in that spot has not hit at all this year.
At all. Like, Freddie's back to being Freddie, and because he's no longer in that 2 spot. Tucker has actually looked better. He's still not. He's getting triples, which is weird, but he's not getting home runs. So maybe it is just that 2 spot. But I would try and move some guys. Maybe Will Smith. Like, let's see Will Smith in that 2 spot. Look, he did very well last year in that spot, hitting the game-winning home run against the Blue Jays in the World Series from that spot. So I don't know, could do something. But Mookie is definitely back on that struggle bus. He's got to get Sensei back on his shoulders and do whatever he's got to do to help his offensive game, because it's bad right now. Pop-up Mookie is a problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely, probably. You talk about moving Will Smith to the number 2 spot in the order. I'm looking right now. He has hit in every spot in the order so far this year.
Really? He's gone 1 through 9?
He has batted 1 through 9 in at least one game every year.
So 9 probably was like a pinch hit situation.
Maybe, yeah, because he's got 3 plate appearances in the number 9 spot. He's got 1 appearance in the 8th spot. So some of these are probably pinch hitting. But we know he had the lead off, or he hit the home run as a leadoff hitter. Second, a couple of games. Mostly he's hit either 3rd or 5th is kind of where he's been locked in. But
what does numbers look like in the 2 spot?
In the 2 spot, he was 0 for 8.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it is. There's a curse in the 2 spot. I think that's what we're finding out right now.
that
In
appears to
real
be
time.
what it is. So I don't know. I don't know how they solve it. I don't know if you just, you know, you have
Yeah.
to do some sort of ritual, some sort of dance or something to get rid of it. I have no idea how to fix
This
it.
graphic, Tim, nice job on this. This is really what we're talking about, is that this has been a downward trend over the for what is that, since 2023.
Yeah.
You can get it by with a lot of these. The 2025 one was a little bit of an interesting case because he was so bad and then he was so good when he came back in August, when he said F it. And he went three. He had a 300 batting average through August. Was it through September and through the playoffs? 300 batting average, 900 OPS. But it was bad. And now this is even worse than all of that. I don't know if this is who Mookie is now. I mean, how upset with this are you? Because he got you 3 rings.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that upset is the word. I think
Right.
disappointed, certainly sad for Mookie. If this is what the new normal is going to be, because the guy who's been so productive throughout his career, and so to see the decline happen kind of like this, it's I think it's disappointing. It's sad, but angry or upset, I can't be, because he's given too much to this team
Right.
since he got here. So yeah, but I know he's working on it. I know the team is working on it. Just something to see if they can kind of get him going, because some of it is just, I think he's missing pitches. He's underneath everything. There've been a few cases where it's just been bad luck, where it just seems like guys are laying out and making ridiculous plays against Mookie when he does hit it hard. It's just a combination of things, and it just has not worked out for him so far this year. So today's a new day. Hopefully
today is a new day. I just wonder, they're talking about how they have a collective mindset of putting the ball in the air, because they were grounding out everything for quite some time. So get the ball in the air, get the ball into the outfield. I wonder if he should do the opposite. If he should just level out his swing and just find it that way, because if you are going to consistently pop up, he has to level it out. It's almost like he has too much of a Chris Taylor uppercut swing, which we should talk about.
Yes,
the career of Chris Taylor at some point. But great, probably a little high, but loved him as a Dodger. Maybe he just needs to level out his swing and just try to get the ball on the ground, which then maybe he'll find that middle ground. Because if he's swinging for home runs, that's not what you need to do. He just, especially in that 2 spot, just keep moving the line, get some RBIs, bring Shohei home, especially when he's coming in. It's a very important spot,
No, 100%. And I had the same thought last night too, that if he's trying to worry about launch angles and that sort of thing, it just doesn't seem to be right now working for him. So it is, I think, a kind of a change in approach, and just try to hit line drives or hit the ball on the ground and sort of see how things go from there. And then once you get comfortable with the swing, then we can sort of readjust at that point. So
what do you think of moving him down in the lineup?
I really had the thought, why not flip flop him, say with Kyle Tucker right now,
or even further. Like Teo got moved down to the 8th spot because he wasn't hitting, and he started hitting. I'm not saying move him to the 8th spot, but move him further and further down until he finds his swing. He's obviously doing great in the field, but I think it's almost disrespectful to talk like that for Mookie Betts. But if you saw, that trend is a real trend, that he is not getting a base, and he's not an automatic out, but a pretty close to an automatic out. I know he's just coming back still. What has been 18 to 20 games that he's been out now. So I don't know. It might be time to start kind of dropping him lower and lower and let himself figure it out with better pitches to see.
Yeah, I think that is a real conversation. It's definitely a thought I had last night, about just trying to find a new spot in the batting order, just to take some of the pressure off, and see what can happen there. Because you're right, it got Kyle Tucker going, moving him down a few spots in the lineup. It's gotten Teo Hernandez going, moving him down a few spots in the lineup. So maybe it can work with Mookie Betts too, to try to get him hot, because at some point they are going to need his bat as this season goes along.
Yeah, I mean, Andy Paz is hitting 7th and is on fire. It's not so much about the position in the lineup as it is, how are you helping? If you're going to go by that whole F it, I'm just going to do whatever it takes to help the team, then say F it and do whatever it takes to help the team.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure the the brain trust in the organization in the dugout working on some ways to try to get Mookie Betts going. You mentioned Chris Taylor.
Yeah. My doppelganger.
Your doppelganger. He retired, then apparently didn't retire, but then apparently did retire. Right. After 12 seasons in the major leagues, Chris Taylor is hanging them up officially. Spent his time with the Mariners, mostly with the Dodgers, and then finished out with the Angels. Certainly not a Hall of Famer by any stretch, but was a fan favorite here for a really long time, did a little bit of everything and came with some really, really big moments. So, from my perspective, nothing but good things and good wishes and good luck in retirement to Chris Taylor. Just an absolute salute with what he brought this organization for so many years.
Absolutely. Chris Taylor was everything that you wanted. He was just scrappy, got on base until later in his career when he was having that uppercut, but he scrappy, got on base, huge hits, huge defensive plays. I think it was it 2016 or 2017 when they played the Brewers in the NLCS, and he had that amazing diving catch against Christian Yelich that saved the series for them. He just did a lot of great things in the postseason. He's like Kike. He just came through when you needed him to come through, and it was so big time salute. He's not a Hall of Famer, not the Hall of Very Good, probably just the Hall of Good, right. Or Hall of Above Good, whatever that level is. But no matter what, he's a true blue Dodger. And I saw online people, even Mariners fans, were saying like, "Hey, congratulations on a great career." He was good for the locker room. He was just a good guy to have on your team, and really respect what Chris Taylor did.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was such a big part of some of those championship teams, just some of those division winning teams. Because I think, I don't know if he started that trend, but we see the Dodgers now really build on the barrels are overrated. Yeah. But the Dodgers now obviously love to have those multi-positional guys, those utility guys, and he was certainly one of them, maybe one of the best ones they've had in a long time, where you knew you could put Chris Taylor pretty much anywhere on the field, shortstop, second base, third base, left, center field, and he would give you some plays. And so there was a little bit of weirdness where he retired. Then apparently he was going to go on the injured list for the Angels minor league club in Salt Lake, and then said, no, actually, no, I'm retired, but whatever.
Yeah. Retired, not retired, whatever it was. The fact that he's retired now, and congratulations on a great career for Chris Taylor.
Absolutely. So tonight, game 2 of the 3-game series between the Dodgers and the Rockies. We get to see Eric Lauer make his Dodger debut. We'll see.
I'm worried here. A little worried here.
The numbers not great for Lauer so far this season. 1-5 with a 6.69 earned run average for him. To make matters worse, Greg, they're facing Kyle Freeland, whose ERA is 7.04. So
bad Dodger pitcher. We haven't seen him as a Dodger yet, so we can't say that. But bad pitcher so far this season versus a bad pitcher that they've seen many times over the years. Something's got to give here. One of these things got to give. This very well could be a 12-11 game, which means that it's going to be 2-0.
I say, yeah. I mean, like it could feel like a Coors Field special in Los Angeles, or somehow both these guys could end up shoving, and that happened. I have no idea how this is going to go, but we're going to watch it, and y'all can watch along with us, and we'll be here to talk about it tomorrow. Yeah. I see that Laura saying Kyle Freeland. Oh no. Yeah. I kind of felt that way too.
I got a question. So do you think, just looking at it right now, they're 12-2 in their last 14 games. They're hitting the ball well. They're doing. Do you think this is going to be that time where they're just going to take off with the division and the Padres, who were overachieving massively by how they were even close to the Dodgers with their horrific offense? Do you think this is where they start to do it, where they start to just kind of take off?
I do. I was looking at the schedule last night because actually I saw something, an article over the weekend that suggested, this is a good time for them to go on a run because they got the Rockies. The Phillies are playing better, but they started the season really awfully. A chance with 4 games against the Diamondbacks, against the Angels, the Pirates, the White Sox. Again, Pirates and White Sox playing better, but still neither one of those teams are great. So it's a stretch in here with a lot of really winnable games. They still have the Orioles coming up in a few weeks.
Orioles 2 back-to-back walk-off wins.
Yeah, that I watched a little bit of that one yesterday. That game was wild, but there's an opportunity here in the next month or so to really go on a run. And if the Padres continue to not hit, they could put some distance between themselves and San Diego and everybody else in the NL West. So we will see. But it starts by continuing to win tonight. Dodgers are going for their 4th in a row as they take on the Rockies. 7:10 first pitch time for that one. And we'll be here to talk about it tomorrow. But stick around.
Can't wait.
Cannot wait. The Sedano Cap Morning Extravaganza coming up right after us. I will be on Mason and Ireland for the next couple days, actually.
Nice.
So be sure to check that out as well. But thanks everybody in the chat for hanging out. Thanks to Tim for production assistance. That'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. For Greg, I'm Marcus. We'll see you tomorrow, 6:30 to 6:55 here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. See you.
That's it.